Hi everybody, I'm Andrew, Stefan's brother for cg.pros.com, and in this tutorial we are going to create a Canon EP-S 55 to 250mm lens in 3D Studio Max. So let's start with creating a cylinder and click A on the keyboard to turn on the angle stop toggle and rotate the element with 90 degrees. After that, let's reduce the height segments to 1 and change the size to 110, and now we can convert it to editable poly. Let's select the top vertices and move them up to this line here. Do the same with the bottom. After that, let's select the top and bottom polygons and extrude them with something like 4 is good. Now we have to select every second polygon like this, but I will pause the video and when I'm ready I'll continue. Now we can continue, so let's extrude these polygons with negative value. -4 is good, and now we have this furrow, so let's go to front view, move the element to see where the furrow is, and let's select this ring and connect two loops with pinch. -55 is good, and again connect two loops, but this time with positive value, so 55 is good. And now we have to select all these vertices in this line, but without the inner, so let's go back to polygon mode and click Ctrl I to select invert, and let's deselect these polygons, and now click shrink and hold Ctrl and click on vertex mode, so we have selected all these vertices, and now we can scale them like this. And let's select the top and bottom polygons and hit inset and then bridge to get this result. And now let's connect loops close to the edges. Do the same with this inner part here. And now if we apply turbo smooth, we can see that we have this problem, so let's select this loop and then click on ring, and after that apply 2 more loops like this, and now everything is okay, so we can continue with this element here. Let's create another cylinder and change the size to 32, and then again rotate it and move it here. Let's just change the radius like this and the height like this. After that, convert it to editable poly and select the bottom polygon and hit bevel and change the height like this and the outline. Now we have to select also the top polygon and hit inset, and now hit bridge. Now we have to select all loops and apply chamfer with lower amount and 2 edge segments like this, and apply turbo smooth with iterations 1. Now let's continue with this element here. So let's create another cylinder, rotate it and convert it to editor poly. Let's select these vertices and move them to this line, and after that select the bottom polygon and hit extrude, then hit apply, and now let's select this group of polygons and hit extrude again, but in perspective we can see this problem, so let's change this to local normal and make the height with negative value like this, and then let's apply below, like this, and then inset and extrude, now let's again hit below but reduce the height to 0 and change the outline to positive like that, and then again hit extrude and below again, now let's apply inset to get something like this, and apply again extrude but with negative value, and now here we have a little brink, so let's hit again inset and then extrude like this and move it to this point. We can hold Alt and Q to go to isolation mode, and let's select this polygon and delete it, also delete this, and move this border up to this line. Now let's select the two borders and hit bridge. After that we have to select every loop without this one, so let's select them and apply chamfer like this and apply turbo smooth. So this is our result, and we can continue with this part. So let's create another cylinder and rotate it. Now we have to change the size to 200 and convert it to editor poly. Let's move these vertices here and this down here and delete the polygons. Now we have to select every second polygon like this, and when I'm ready I'll continue. Now when we are ready we can extrude them again with negative height, so minus 3.5 is good, and let's go again to isolation mode, and we have to delete all these polygons, so go to front view, Ctrl A to select all polygons, and then just deselect this middle polygons and delete them. Now select this ring and apply chamfer. To get something like this, and just apply turbo smooth and use it as isolation mode. So now we can continue and create this part. Actually that's the most difficult element in the whole lens, and in this picture we can see all details that we have to create, and we can try to create another cylinder, but it will be very hard to make all these details. So let's create a line and follow the shape. Now here we have to create a straight line, so hold shift and we can see that we have straight line. And now when we get to this point and can continue to the bottom part, click I on the keyboard and the center of the viewport will be where our cursor, so we can continue. Now let's close the spline and select the vertex mode and turn on the snap stereo and match these vertices with this, and let's select this segment and divide it by 2, and then let's move the vertices like this, and again select the middle segment and divide it by 5. So let's select these vertices and move them like this. Now select this segment and divide it by 25 and select every second vertex like this. Now let's move them, and from modifier list apply late modifier and select the axis and move them to a center, so we can use the snap stereo again and use this line as a center. And let's change the size to 33 and convert it to editor poly. Now let's change the pilot point to a center, and if we click Alt and X we can see through our element, so let's rotate it with 25 degrees is good, and go to this part. At this loop we have to create these 3 elements here, so let's go to front view and select these 5 polygons, and if we count 6 here and select again this 5 and again, but now we have to select also this polygon and go to bottom view and extrude these polygons. We have to match them with this line, so let's change this to local normal and reduce the height like this. Is very good. And now let's select these 2 vertices, and in perspective view we can see that we have selected only these two and match them with this vertex. The same with the other parts. Now let's select this polygon and select these three vertices. And move them to this here. Now let's delete these polygons in the inner part, and now we can select these vertices, and you can see there are 4, so let's weld them. Now are only 2. And let's connect loops close to the edges. Now we will continue with connecting loops. So let's select this edges and connect unfinished loops close to this edge here. So let's just select also this edge, and now let's deselect this in the middle and remove these two. And now if we apply turbo smooth, we can see our result here. So let's connect unfinished loops on all these parts. We can see what we have. So let's do the same with these two parts here. Now when we have connected all unfinished loops, let's go to isolation mode and select this loop here and hit the upper arrow on ring. So we have to select all these loops and apply chamfer with amounts maybe 0.5 and 2 edge segments like this. Now let's select this ring and connect loops close to the edges. Connect one more here. And 2 here. Now on the picture we can see this element, so we have to create it. select these 8 polygons and extrude them with negative value, so -2.5 is good, and after that detach them as a separate object, and let's connect more loops close to the edges. After that, let's deselect this and remove the other. Let's connect one more loop close to the upper edge and do the same with this part here. Now let's select this element, and we have selected all these polygons, so we have to extrude them, but this time with positive value, and hit apply and change the height to something like this is good. And now go to isolation mode and let's select this vertex and use target weld like this. Now let's select this edge and move it backwards. Also select these polygons and move them like this. Now we have to connect loops close to the edges. Now let's select this loop and apply chamfer like this. Now let's hold Control and click on vertex mode. We have to deselect these vertices and we have selected only this. Now we have to scale them, because if we apply turbo mode we can see that here we have this strong edge, and if we exit from isolation mode we have this hole here, and we don't want this, so let's scale them. Do the same here. Now let's select this ring and connect two more loops like this, and we can apply turbo mode, see what we have. It's pretty good, and we can exit from isolation mode and continue with this element. In the picture we can see this these screws here, so let's create them. Let's go to isolation mode and connect loops close to the edges. And now let's select this ring and connect 3 more loops, and then let's select these edges and connect 3 more loops like this, and then let's select these polygons and apply inset like this. Now we have to select this loop, and from loops menu here click on loop tools and then circle like this. Now let's select these polygons and delete them. After that, use shift and drag to, let's undo this and change this from edge to on, and move the border like this using shift and drag. Now we have to create four holes for the screws, so I will pause the video, and when I'm ready I'll continue. Now when we have created all these holes, we can hit cap, and after that apply chamfer like this, and also select these loops and apply chamfer again. Now let's select this polygon and move it like this and clone it like a separate object, and then select this element, and from hierarchy menu change the pivot point to a center. And now let's go to isolation modes and let's rotate it like this and connect these edges. Now let's select these vertices and change this to edge, and now we have to scale them like this. After that, let's select these polygons and extrude them like this, and now let's delete these polygons and connect loops close to the edges. Now let's apply turbo smooth and see we have these problems, so let's connect more loops. Now everything is okay, and exit from isolation modes, go to bottom view and move it like this, and after that we have to scale them. Now let's move it to the other holes like this. Now when we are ready, and if we apply turbo smooth, we can see that's our result at this point. So let's delete it and go to front view and select these 8 polygons and hit hide unselected. So now we can see only the selected polygons, and let's apply BO, but we can't see the image, so let's hold out and click X to see through our element and change the outline like this. Let's move it and scale it like this. Now let's select these polygons and apply inset, and try to match the vertices. Now let's select these polygons and apply extrude with -1 is good, and then apply inset with maybe 1 is good, and again extrude like this. So now let's select this whoops and apply chamfer like this. Okay, let's do the same with these 4 polygons. We have to create almost the same, but we will extrude only once without this inset and this second extrude. So I will pause the video, and when I'm ready I'll continue. Now when we are ready, let's go back to polygon mode and unhide all, then go to front view and let's select this ring and connect 3 loops like this and move them to merge them with these lines. So let's select this one and move it like this. Now let's select this ring and go to left view, and after that let's deselect these edges and connect 1 loop like this. Now we have to cut these vertices, and after that let's use target weld like this, and let's select these 3 vertices and move them like this. Now let's select this ring and connect 1 loop like this, and now let's select these 3 edges and connect 2 unfinished loops like this. We have to get square shape here, so 37 is good. Let's extrude this with negative value and connect loops close to the edges. Now let's select these edges and move them like this. And now let's use cut again. And let's connect these vertices and let's cut again. Like this. And also here. Now let's connect this vertices and let's connect two loops here. And now let's connect one more loop close to this edge. And now if we apply turbo smooth, we can see our results. So let's select this polygons, but before that we have to connect one more loop close to this edge, like this. And now let's select these polygons and detach them. Now let's extrude them with positive value and let's connect three loops like this and three more. Now let's scale them and connect one more loop here and here, and after that let's select the polygons and move them, but before that let's change this to local and move them. Now we have to select these vertices and scale them. Now let's apply turbo smooth and let's connect one more loop close to this edge. Now everything is fine, so we can continue with these buttons here.